Now I'm going to review here again for those of you who are still having problems. Right, so 2.5 percentage. If I cover the percentage sign, you're seeing 2.5, which resembles a regular mixed number. But this makes it different. Right? You can have two people with the same first name. You can have Raymond Lee and you can have Raymond Johnson. Cover the surname and we have that. So this has to be treated just like as though it is a mixed number. Right? All the rules that apply when you did fractions. So that's why I say here we are going again linking the skills. The skills you learn in fractions, the skills gonna mix or linked with the skills you learned in decimals earlier. Now there are certain rules, right? When you're born you met rules on this earth. In your home, out in society, on the roadway, in the schools, you meet rules already there. Brilliant men, mathematicians and scientists have laid down rules which you are to follow. One of the rules is that when you're converting a percentage to a decimal, you divide by 100. So to convert 2.5% to a decimal, you divide by 100. That is a rule that you have to understand. So I noticed that I dropped the percentage sign. That's for a while, right? To make things less cumbersome or less confusing, I should say. Good. So if you remember fractions, we're going to treat this mixed number, right? This percentage here is a mixed number, sorry. And we're going to convert it to an improper fraction. 2 2s are 4 and 1 is 5. So that's 5 over 2 divided by 100. All right? That's the rule. There's nothing you or can do about it. There's nothing that I can do about it. That's the rule, and we have to follow our rules. Good. In mathematics, there are rules and laws. You follow them, and you will get to the answer. All right. So the next thing we want to do is there's another rule in mathematics. Right? In mathematics, it is said that every number could be written over 1. If you write a number over 1, 2 over 1, it means you're dividing 2 by 1. And if you divide two things into groups of 1, you still end up with 2. If you take 10 things and you divide it over 1, you still end up with 10. So, in other words, what you're trying to say is we don't always have to write it unless we need to. Alright? That's a rule you have to remember. It's understood. So, it's understood that when you divide by 100, right? Especially when you're dealing with fractions and so on, now you're going to need to write that part that is understood. So, it is understood that 100 is written as 100 over 1. Good. So now we have what appears to be two fractions in our problem. Now there's another rule. When you're going to divide using fractions, we do the opposite, right? Let's make life easier and multiply instead. So 5 over 2 multiplied by 1 over 100. Good. So since we change this from division to multiplication, we change this from 100 over 1 to 1 over 100. Those are rules which we must follow in mathematics. Follow those rules and everything will be cool. You don't follow the rule, you end up like a fool. Good? Our little rhyming skills they follow today. Good. I want you to follow very closely. So now you have a nice problem there, and we multiply. Good? So you multiply 5 by 1, you get 5. 2 by 100, you get 200. Now remember I said before, 5 over 200, like written like that, means 5 divided by 200. Numerator, within column, denominator. But that's what it means. Mathematics is a kind of language and everything has a meaning. Good, just like a person doing sign language for you. Or they're putting up a sign when you go on the beach. Right? Tells you if the surface there under the water, the floor of the sea is dangerous, if there's a safe to bathe or not. Right? So we have 5 over 200. Now, we could simplify this as we should. Right? But I'm not going to do that right now to avoid any confusion. So I'm going to take you to the next step. So 5 over 200 means 5 divided by 200. That's what it really means. 5 divided by 200. Good? So 5 over 200 means 5 divided by 200. Or it also means you have 5 things and you're trying to get groups of 200. Good? To make it language easier for you to understand. Now, normally that is not possible, but we want to make it possible. You have 5 ones. So this is what I showed you in your decimal chart before. This is what you're doing here now. You put a point on top here. Good? Most people just say they put a point and add a note. Why? I'm going to tell you why. You put your point and you add the 0. You know why you added the 0? Just as when you had the chart just on the decimal chart, you have now converted those 5 ones into tenths. So you have 50 tenths because you now have the decimal point, and this is the first value after the decimal points, meaning 5 tenths, right? Or 50 little parts. So from that 50 little parts, or those 50 little parts, can we get 200, a group of 200? The answer is still no. So we add another 0 here and we break them into hundreds. We now have 5 hundreds. But since we have moved away from the decimal column and we were in the tens place, now we have moved from the tens place, put back the 0 there, just as you did in the place value chart. So now we have a new problem. You have 5 hundredths, good, which is still 50 tenths or 5 ones, because you can regroup going back across the point to the whole numbers section, or you could regroup coming across the point into the decimal. You can go left to right or right to left. That's the beauty of this thing. So your problem is this now. 5 hundredths divided into groups of 2 hundredths. You no longer have tenths, no longer have ones, unless you want to regroup them. So from 5 hundredths, we can get two groups of 2 hundredths. So we take the 200 here, just for you to see. This is really mental. And you multiply it. 0 multiplied by 2, 0. 0 multiplied by 2, 0. 2 multiplied by 2, 4. Or we say multiplication is really repeated addition. We can repeat the addition. 200, that's the first group. Second, 200, our second groups, and add them. And we have the same 400. Any way you want to do it. Good? So from this 500, we share that way already 400. Now you must record that for people to know that is what you have done. This long division you're seeing here is really a record of the steps that you have taken. So people can say, if you were sharing something for somebody in a company, when the boss comes, he wants to know you had 500. So where are they? You can say, well, boss, I shared away 400s in groups of 200. 200 by 200. That's where your 400 gone. So now you are left with 100. So we have a new problem. We have 100 there, and we want to make groups of 200s. 100, can we get a group of 200s? No. So what do? We take our 100s and we add a 0 here. And that 0 means we have broken up our 100s into thousands. So I'm not just telling we add a 0. I tell you why we add a 0. It has now become thousands. Please understand that. It's the same thing we did before with the 5 on the place value chart. So we now have 1,000. In other words, you have 1,000 things, which we now going to share into groups of 200. So we have 1,000 thousands, and can we make groups of 2,000s from them? Yes, we can. We can get 5 groups. Right? Now, as we did before, I'm going to demonstrate it both ways. So we're taking the 500s, 200s 5 times. That is important to pay attention to. 0 multiplied by 5 is 0. 0 multiplied by 5 is 0. 2 multiplied by 5 is 10. Move this out of the way here. That's how we end up with 1,000. Or addition one group of 200, two groups of 200, three groups of 200, four groups of 200, five groups of 200. Double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 groups. 0 at 0 at 0, 0. 0 at 0 at 0, 0. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Put my 10 in here. Same thing again. 1,000. So from this thousands, we have shared or distributed or taken away 1,000 thousands. Remember that division is repeated subtraction. All those other things you learned earlier on, they're coming into play now. So let's see what happens. 0 take away 0, 0. 0 take away 0, 0. 0 take away 0, 0. 1 take away 1, 0. Your job is done. So it means that 2.5% when written as a decimal can be written as 0.025. You may also see it written as 0.025. This 0 does not change the value. It has no effect. So this way is good. This way is good. Right? Hope you understand this. I don't want you to look at this video just once. Take your time, go through it. Hope you understand what is happening here.